I took this position wanting to help make a difference and make that better, right? But it's tough. It's tough for us because until the community gets to know you, they don't trust you simply because you wear the uniform.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to!
You're listening to the Black and Blue Podcast, a discussion and celebration of the roles of African Americans and other minorities in U.S. law enforcement. Your host on the Black and Blue Podcast is Dale Peters, a law enforcement professional with over 20 years experience in the business. Hop on board this Black and Blue train of interviews, current events, and pop culture conversations. So get ready. The Black and Blue Podcast is coming at you right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing today? This is Dale, host of the Black and Blue Podcast. Thank you for joining me here today. I got somebody real special for you. I'm down here in Southern California, but even more south to that is San Diego. So please help me welcome in a 30-year veteran of the San Diego Police Department, Lieutenant Ben Kelso. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
I'm great. So how you guys dealing with everything on this craziness and COVID-19 down there in San Diego?
It's been a tough couple of months here, just like it's been for everywhere else. Trying to keep people away from areas where they congregate and potentially spread that COVID-19 has been hard, but we're making it work.
Yeah. Are they starting to open things up like they are in some other counties?
Yeah, they are. Just yesterday, some things started to open up and we started to relax our posture. Hopefully people will, abide by the governor's order and keep social distancing. But, hey, people have been cooped up for a while. So there might be some non-compliance. You never know.
A little bit. And you guys got some beautiful, beautiful areas, beautiful beaches down there. It's hard to keep people away from them. So, not an easy task. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
Especially being able to do it without making things worse on people. People are human. They want to get out. It's been tough. I know it's been tough for you because it's been tough for me to have to stay at home the last 3 months.
Right. Yep. It is what it is. So, slowly we're getting there as the weather starts to warm up. So we'll get there together. So I mentioned you are a 30-year veteran of the San Diego Police Department. What is your assignment right now?
Right now, I'm assigned to the San Diego's Office of Homeland Security. I've been primarily working on this COVID-19 response for the city of San Diego.
Okay. And how's that been working out? Is it a lot of work, a lot of agency liaison and all that stuff going on?
Quite a bit of that. Quite a bit of trying to make sure we have the things we need in order to respond appropriately to this pandemic. A lot of flying by the seat of our pants sometimes, I think, too, right? Because, this is new. At least for us in this generation, this is new.
Right. Definitely. And are you from San Diego? You originally from down there?
No, I'm originally from Flint, went to high school in Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, wow.
And just kind of found myself out here in the late 80s. And I was out here to try to play basketball at a community college, got injured. And while I was taking some classes, law enforcement, came up in a survey sort of class, an assessment class of what you might be good at. And I didn't think that it would be something I would do. I never thought I ever wanted to be a police officer, but as I look back, there were some key police officers in my life that when I started thinking about it, they kind of inspired me.
Okay, yeah. And so you finally went through, is San Diego the place you've been the whole 30?
The whole 30, yeah. I went through the academy in 1990.
Okay, well, kind of dating yourself there. You don't look a day over 40.
That's because I shaved all the white off.
Oh, yeah. Believe me, brother, I know how that is. I know how that is. All right. So what other assignments have you done in your long tenured career?
You know, I've had a lot of great assignments. I worked specialized assignments early on in my career with Operation Weed and Seed, which is a federal grant program, neighborhood policing. I worked there in school safety patrol. That was very rewarding. I worked the academy. I've worked the gang units, worked investigations, right? And domestic violence was one of the key assignments I had in working investigations, worked internal affairs as well. And once I became management, then, you go back into the cycle of going to area stations, and that's where I am right now.
Right, right. So for, for our listeners and our viewers, we all know San Diego's a beautiful city. We all, like to go there from time to time. How large is the city as far as the population?
San Diego has a population of a little over 2 million people. San Diego County in general, it's very close. You can get from one end of the county to the other in an hour, which is kind of different than LA. I don't think you can get from, South LA to downtown in less than an hour, depending.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Yeah.
And then how large is the PD as far as personnel?
The PD has just under 2,000 police officers. We cover the city in 9 different police divisions and a traffic division. All right. And, we get it done. We're still not where we need to be. We have been for a while trying to get our numbers up to lower that ratio of officers per citizen. All right. And, law enforcement in general is really experiencing a lot of losses personnel-wise. People just aren't as interested in it as they were in the past. So
yeah,
we're still working on that.
Yeah, because back in the 90s or so, there were lines around the block to just test, and then now,
right,
and that's not so much anymore. So yeah, it's something we got to work at.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. So you guys are obviously close to a foreign country. You got a border there. How's the relationship between the city and Mexico?
Over the past 30 years, it has been up and down. All right. Kind of depends on who's in leadership locally, but also nationally, who's in our leadership to impact that relationship. The mayor of San Diego and the mayor of Tijuana, in particular, work very well together. You have to. It's the border city.
Yep.
People from Mexico are coming both ways. Coming up, we have people going down, and you got to get along in order to make that work.
Yeah.
But sometimes the national outlook with our leadership can impact that and cause some friction, but we still do everything we can to make it work here.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned off camera, I used to work for the Border Patrol years ago. I was up here, closer to the LA area, but I would go down there to San Diego to work from time to time. And, I like being down there. And like I said, the relationship, you would think it wouldn't be a good relationship, but for the most part, the relationship between the Border Patrol and the officers on the other side was a good working relationship. They helped out the Border Patrol a lot. You wouldn't think they would, but at least the tactical guys did. Yeah, so that was a good experience. Yeah. So you said you found yourself out here trying to play basketball, and then you decided, after you got hurt, that you would go to college, and then you found your way into law enforcement. Did you ever go back to playing basketball after that, or?
In the rec league, not a PD team.
Okay.
Playing in Police Olympics. And that sort of stuff.
What's your position?
I was a small forward.
Okay.
I was usually a 2 or a 3, playing a wing. Obviously, the years of patrol work and carne asada has changed my physique.
You say carne asada. Yeah. I was gonna say Charles Barkley, but when you said power forward, it's small. How tall are you?
6'4".
Okay. That's not tall enough. Well, I guess Barkley is about that height, but he's unprecedented skills at that position. To be so small. Well, 6'4" isn't small, but in that position it is. So yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
And is the rest of the family still in Detroit, or did they follow you out here?
A couple of my brothers did follow me out here, but the rest of the family is still back there, back in Detroit. We had a big basketball family in Detroit.
Okay. Do you get back often, or?
I try to get back there at least twice a year. That's been my goal. I wasn't always that way. As I was working my way up through my career, I couldn't afford to take my family back there, but here I'm on the pinnacle, right? So I have a little bit better resources, so I try to take my family back twice a year.
Yeah, Detroit's gone through some changes too that, over the years. How's Detroit shaping out?
When General Motors declined, and it wasn't just Detroit, I think the whole state of Michigan, and primarily at Midwest, in Indiana, in Michigan, in Ohio, in Illinois, all those areas all fed off of our automotive industry, right? And as things changed over the years and those jobs started to move on to other countries, those areas all declined and they've had to reinvent themselves. So Detroit and Flint in particular, I don't know if you saw Flint Town. Did you ever see Flint Town?
Yeah.
Yes. Detroit was the heart, being that the offices were there, right? The executive offices there. But Flint really was the pulse.
Okay.
Flint drove that automotive industry, just being 60 miles from Detroit. And that area has not recovered yet from the loss.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's terrible. Yeah, I got some family that was there for a while in Michigan, and they've since moved on. But yeah, I'm originally from Ohio, so we're rivals. We're rivals.
There you go.
Ohio State and that other team.
I was hoping you was gonna say Toledo or something like that, but
No, Columbus. So yeah.
Columbus.
Yeah.
All right.
One of these days, your boy Jim Harbaugh will. Yeah. I used to love him when he was out here in Frisco, but but since he's we won't talk about that anymore.
Yeah, that's a long conversation. Yeah. Hey, but I will see you that last Saturday in November, and I'll be all about it.
Okay, all right. Well, every dog has his day, I guess. But we'll see if it happens this year.
Right.
See if it happens this year. So
I know.
Yeah. So you got family out here. You married? Got kids?
Yep. Got 5 kids. We have basically moved back into the community here. All right, trying to make an impact, make a difference, and it's been tough though. I'm telling you, it's tough trying to maintain a family and work and all these things, but we do what we can to get through.
Yeah, definitely. How your kids feel about dad being a cop?
They don't talk about it too much. They don't. We've gone through a lot of interesting times. I have not always been the same person. Obviously we adjust, we change. When I was as a patrol officer, your mind is always, safety first, and you're out there trying to do the job. And I've had to learn to adjust and kind of reinvent myself as I furthered along in this career. And one of the things that was really important to do is to learn to be present. Learn to be present with the family, because when you're on patrol, man, all you're focused on is patrol, and your safety and what's going on out there, and you want to be a part of that. And you see a lot of things that you shouldn't have seen, right? That if you could go back, you wish you'd have never seen it. And you can't bring that home, right? And then they wonder what's wrong with you, and like, oh, I don't want to tell you what I saw today. You don't want to know what I saw today. I have the images I don't want you to have.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that is the life. That is the life. Yeah, and in particular, how's the family back home, or mom and siblings and cousins? How do they feel about you being a cop, particularly in the beginning?
In the beginning, hey, you lose friends. You know that, right? You lose family members. People don't want to talk to you. They keep their distance from you at family gatherings. Some of them, because in areas where we come from, it's not always celebrated to be a police officer. In fact, the opposite usually takes place, right? So you have to learn to adjust to that. That's just part of the job. All right. I go back now, see my cousins. Hey, I know what they do. They know what I do. We see each other at the family reunion. Hey, what's up, cousin? And then I go my way, they go their way. You know how it goes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately. Fortunately, I don't have any family members in my extended family that are, on the other side of the tracks. But I have a lot of family members that weren't so hip, so nice to me being a cop, and we have healthy debates. But we still hug it out at the family reunions whenever we see each other, hug it out. And now on Facebook, we still have healthy debates, and I agree with some things and other things I don't agree with them with. And I think that's good. And families and friends and all that, to have people that don't actually think the way you do all the time, so you can get different perspectives. True.
That's a good point. And that's the funny thing about technology and social media has come about. Now I can actually stay connected to them at a distance. Right?
At a distance, yeah.
At a distance. Know what's going on in their life, what they want to show anyway. And they get to see what's going on in my life, right? But we don't have to put ourselves in situations where there could be conflict, right? Based on what I do or what they do.
Right. Yeah. So, and you're African American male in particular. How's your experience being a police officer down in San Diego and being an African American male?
I chose the area that I wanted to work. Remember, I came from Flint and Detroit. Hey, I was a poor kid growing up. I know what was going on. I wanted to make a difference in communities like the community I grew up in. So I gravitated towards a division that was made up much like what my home was made up like. All right. I've seen a lot of things. It's been a very interesting ride, finding out firsthand what it's like to police in communities of color, and also find out what it's like for communities to receive that policing. And I decided I wanted to be a difference maker, a channel between the community and the police, a person that can work through situations, because my parents didn't want me to be a police officer based on where I came from.
Okay.
Right. So I understand that dynamic that these communities of color feel towards the police. And I took this position wanting to help make a difference and make that better. Right. But it's tough. It's tough for us because until the community gets to know you, they don't trust you simply because you wear the uniform.
Right.
And there's some people that are never going to trust you, even though you wear the uniform. But the flip side of that is if you are seen as being too close to the community, then your peers in the station don't trust you either. So it's a fine line, a tough call, and you learn to navigate it. All right. But over time, you make your reputation on doing the right thing. All right. Both ways, in both groups, and people that are open to seeing how things really are, they see that, oh man, it's helpful. It's helpful to have somebody that can relate to this community, especially when there's problems, right? You need diplomats. Diplomats solve wars, not generals.
Definitely. That's real. That's real. And how long have you been a lieutenant?
I've been a lieutenant for 4 years.
Okay, congratulations.
I was a sergeant for 17 years.
Oh, wow, 17. So you had a lot on those stripes.
Yeah, I got to be the senior sergeant,
Okay.
So that made a difference.
Yeah. And do you guys have a step in between officer and sergeant, corporals?
We do.
Okay.
And we have detectives also. All right, so the detective and the corporal rank are similar in that regard.
Yeah, my agency too, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so, I was getting at, you being a lieutenant, what are the prospects or, what are the actual numbers that you can think of African Americans in management at San Diego PD?
That's a challenge. We're working on it. It goes up and down. Right now we have 2 African American lieutenants. All right, but we do also have 3 African American captains and 2 African American assistant chiefs. So we have learned, we've grown, we've expanded. For a long time, in my career, it took, I think, up to the first 5 years before I finally saw an assistant chief, African American assistant chief, and she was the first of everything. First captain, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So we've grown there, but it's still a work in progress. We have 2 lieutenants right now.
And I would assume there's, other minorities in the ranks as too. You've got, Asians and Latinos and LGBTQs and all that. What do you think the numbers, not specific numbers, but actual Middle Easterners? You guys are a large, diverse department. Have you seen a lot of Middle Easterners wanting to become police officers in San Diego?
We have had some over the time, but that number has continued to be small, and those positions are difficult to fill. We need them, but as far as diversity goes, reaching that demographic has been difficult.
Yeah. I was looking at NYPD, and they've got a large number of Middle Easterners and Indians on their department, but they're like 30,000 strong, so they've got a whole they've got everybody in their department. So New York is a lot larger than the rest of us. So what do you like to do when you're not working?
Well, obviously I'm a basketball enthusiast. I spent some time as a high school football coach in my career. That was very rewarding. So I really like to watch sports, basketball, football. Like everybody else, I've been watching The Last Dance. I don't know if you got a chance to see that with Michael Jordan.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that debate between Michael Jordan and LeBron, I mean, seems clear that LeBron is not Michael Jordan, but hey, who knows? By the end of his career, maybe so.
Right.
But he doesn't have what Michael Jordan had.
No, well he's still playing, but yeah. I hear debates that Michael never won without Scottie. And wherever LeBron goes, he makes those teams better. So, you also got that. So
that's a good point. He does.
Yeah,
he does.
So, all right. Yeah, and I was going to ask you about professional clubs and organizations that you're a part of. I know you're a part of an association down there in San Diego. Why don't you tell the viewers what that's about?
Well, I'm the president of the San Diego Black Police Officers Association. This is an association that was founded in 1974 as the basically Minority Officers Association, or African American Officers Association, and we eventually over time changed our name to Black. We've had that debate: are we African Americans? Are we Black? What are we? At some point, members decided to change and take the name Black. There's nothing wrong with the name Black. But anyway, the organization really works to be a conduit between the community and the police department. We want to make sure that we're guardians out there, and we look at law enforcement in terms of how we do things. And we're not so much a watchdog, even though people think we're supposed to be a watchdog over the department. That's not what we're here for. We are here to try to help the community make things better. Do we get involved in situations where maybe law enforcement action has created controversy within the community? Yeah, we do. We not so much from being that watchdog, being in the chief's office and being someone that is there to create tension, but we try to dialogue these things out. We speak the same language. Law enforcement, you speak the language of the agency, right? You understand it well, but the community speaks different language. And sometimes they don't translate well. Right? Remember Sanford and Son?
Oh yeah.
Remember the 2 officers? Right?
Yeah.
Remember their watch?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
One officer speaks a language, right? And when he starts talking, he talks in codes and things, very formalized. And then everybody looks at the partner officer, and he breaks it down for him, right?
It's simple, plain English, yeah.
Yeah, so that they understand and they're like, oh, I get it. That's kind of what we do, right? We ask questions about diversity, right, and how we're doing in terms of how we're relating to communities of color. And when we, offer suggestions, offer insight, we don't run the department. The chief is in charge of the department, right? But sometimes that translation needs to go forward to administration, just like it needs to go out to the community, because administration sometimes doesn't understand all the dynamics of it, right? And how it works. So that's what we've been doing for over 40 years. And I've been the president for a little over 10. I'm also a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, right? Brotherhood Scholarship Service.
Okay. All right.
Wanted to throw that out there. Shameless plug.
Yeah. Where'd you finish up school at?
I went to Fort Hays State.
Okay.
Fort Hays State University.
Where's that?
That's in Western Kansas.
Nice. Okay. All right. And going back to the association, how's your relationship with the major association, the Police Officers Association, as a whole?
We have developed a strong relationship. Originally, when organizations like B2A come out, there's a lot of tension, a lot of friction. People start saying, just the name Black itself implies things to people. People start saying, oh, if we had a white police officer association, you'd think it was racist, right? And my reply to that is, well, actually, you do have a white police officers association, and no, we don't think it's racist, right?
Yeah.
And our organization and we have organizations that represent all the demographics. We have organizations that represent the LGBTQ demographic, the Latino demographic, the Asian and Pacific Islander demographic, the Latino, all of those organizations all operate and coexist, and they all have a purpose. And for about the last, decade or so, we have all gotten along very well and worked very well together, even with the main Police Officers Association, which is the union. Our organizations are not unions. We're called employee resource groups. And we all work together to try to solve problems and make things better for everyone. Got
it. Going back to, not going back to, because we're both Black here, what changes have you seen towards African Americans in the community, in the police, in the department since you've been on?
I will say, just to be candid, there are times when law enforcement has taken action that was very traumatic to the community, and things still happen that are very traumatic to especially communities of color and the Black community in general. We're very, very reactionary and responsive to things that happen. It can happen somewhere else, and a tragedy or something that looks bad or appears bad or actually is bad, even though it didn't happen in San Diego, it will impact law enforcement here in San Diego.
Yep.
Right? The onset of the cellular phone and the camera, and people have been saying that there have been abuses of law enforcement in communities, especially in communities of color, for decades, but you didn't see it. And as long as you didn't see it, people always felt like it didn't happen. Well, now with the camera, you see that it does happen, right? So that has really changed the game, so to speak. And what's funny is even with a camera sometimes, showing you what happened, right? It still isn't clear cut on right and wrong and who's at fault and, that sort of thing.
Right.
Because a lot of this is nuanced. There are things that you can't see on camera that happen.
When did the recording start? Yeah.
The angles of it, so on and so forth. And even though a camera's sitting right here in the middle of your chest, it doesn't see what your eyes see.
Right.
So people make snap judgments based on that 30-second clip, all right, on whether or not an action was right, wrong, whatever, and without having the benefit of having the full, complete story. The camera still doesn't give you the full, complete story. So dealing with that and the fallout from that has changed things. It's been helpful in a lot of ways too, though. When I worked internal affairs in particular, people will file a complaint about a certain action an officer took, and I bring them in and well, here it is, right here on the camera. And usually, you find out that the complainant, right, who hadn't seen themselves and what they looked like and how they were responding, they say, "Oh man," I'm like, "Okay, you want to go forward like this? You want people going to see the way you were behaving?" Right. And most times, they don't want to complain anymore. It really does clear up a lot of stuff. I work a lot with community activists, right? Because somebody's got to talk to them. Somebody's got to talk. They're not going away.
Right.
And I live in the community.
Right.
So even when I'm not working, I'm going to see that person at the grocery store, at the Walmart, at the whatever.
Yeah.
So it behooves me to maintain that relationship with them, right? So, and community activists, they have their place. I actually respect what they do, right? Because they're out there trying to make a difference, trying to change things for the better, right? They don't always see things in the way I do, but at least because we have that relationship, we can share perspectives, and they respect my views and I respect theirs, and we continue on because neither one of us is going away, right? Other officers may change, leave. I'm not going anywhere.
Nope.
Right. So technology has really made a difference. I think it's made a difference for the better, but it's not the come all at the end all.
Yeah. How long has San Diego been wearing body cams?
I think we picked up body cams in 2015.
Okay, so about 5 years or so. How was the reaction when it first? I'm sure there was a bunch of pushback at first. Yeah,
there was.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't received very well. All right, and over time, it's taken some adjustments. I think the new people that come in, they start out getting them day one of the academy, right? Get used to wearing them. But it's still, like I said, technology still has its shortcomings, right? Yeah.
There's like you said, when it being, in the middle of your chest, there's some angles that you can't see. Sometimes when you're drawn down on someone, you're blocking the view of the camera right there too. So
exactly.
So I know they've tried to, do, like glasses, but not everyone wants to wear the glasses. I've got a GoPro where I put it, sometimes on my hat, but not everyone want to wear a big camera on the top of your head. So there's some challenges too. So it is what it is.
I think learning too, because we got to also find that happy medium. Right now, the policy of our department is to engage the camera while you're en route to an enforcement call, so that it can pick up everything leading up, so that you don't capture anything. But there are folks who would advocate that the police officer's camera's got to be on all the time, and imagine that, it's got to be on when you go to the bathroom and when you eat lunch and when people walking up to talk to you. I mean, it's like living in a bubble. Yeah. So we got to try to find where that medium is that makes everybody happy. Right now, turning it on while you're headed to a call is seems to be reasonable. And then there's going to be things that just that are planned for just happen in an instant. You walk into something that's going on, and now you're trying to engage and you can't get the camera on. Motorcycle officers is a perfect example. Motorcycle officers were going downtown. It takes two hands to operate their motorcycle. They run into a man with a gun in the street, pointing a gun at them. They got to stop their bikes and draw their weapons to deal with them. And they get time to turn their cameras on.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
Yep. Maybe putting one on the bike would be a good option. That could be an option. Putting one on the bike, some sort of dash cam or something. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So going back to the police department in general, is there some sort of mentorship program? Do you guys at the POA, the BPOA, kind of mentor officers of color towards advancing in the ranks?
That's always one of our goals, to try to, kind of assist our own and work with them and help them grow and develop with the department. But it's tough. We've been particularly challenged with Black women. We've only had 2 Black women in the history of our police department advance beyond the rank of sergeant. One was a lieutenant, retired as a lieutenant. The other retired as assistant chief. And unfortunately, when we don't have that perspective in management levels at the police department and down, it changes how things are. All right.
Yeah.
It's been a struggle to try to recruit Black women into law enforcement, and it's even a bigger struggle to get them through all levels of the department. Right. And I've tried to make that something that I worked on in my tenure as the president, and I continue to try to work on it. But I'm going to need more help. All right. It's always a work in progress.
Yeah, definitely. So what's one of the more rewarding parts of your job, of your career over there at San Diego PD?
You know, I think the most rewarding parts that I have is being able to actually walk in the community and be respected, right? Be thought out. People come to me, they trust me. What's funny is to hear calls from other officers when they're out in the field and something goes wrong. People mention my name. Hey, call me. We want this person. Bring this person here. That validates my career. That makes me feel like I've made a difference, and that's what I set out to do when I came here.
Oh yeah. That's good. What about what's one of the more challenging parts of your job?
Well, just like I said, it's almost like a double-edged sword here. What's the most rewarding thing can also be one of the challenges too, right? Like I said, the more you work with the community, the more sometimes you can be seen internally as being divisive or being non-supportive. And I don't look at it that way. You know, we don't operate in a vacuum. We all don't have the same mindsets. We all don't believe things the same way. And sometimes there can be a crossroad where you have to choose between the community and the agency, right? Well, I still work for the agency, right? And in order for me to be effective, I have to continue to work for the agency. So there'll be times if administration makes a decision, I have to go back to the community and basically either sell that decision or say, hey, that's a decision that's made and there's nothing that can be done about it. Right. But what I can't do is be out in the community, you know, and running the agency down and running the agency's administration down. That doesn't help me either. So it's really a tough rope to walk, because sometimes people will be of the opinion that when it goes bad, who you with, right? Mm-hmm. I'm with doing the right thing, whatever the right thing is, right? Sometimes the community is not right about how they're viewing it. There's more to it. They need to have it explained to them, right? Until they understand, right? They don't have to agree with it, but at least they understand how it went.
Yeah.
And then there's times where the agency might misstep, and we have to work internally to see that those things don't happen again. Sometimes they're really simple. They're really simple things like, hey, you're investigating a homicide, right? You know, the investigation goes into the morning, and you know the body's laying, you know, there on the sidewalk where kids can walk around it and see it, right? Well, you know, that's a simple thing. Even though procedurally, hey, you can't move it. It's evidence. Don't cover it. What? No, come on. We got to think beyond that, right?
Right.
You traumatize children to walk past a dead body, right? So why can't we just cover it?
Yeah, just cover it. Canopy, you know.
Yeah.
Something.
It's real simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, real simple.
Yeah.
You know, making sure we do the job and we respect people, we value people. That was a value-based decision. And of course, administration immediately said, yeah, you're absolutely correct. Yes, let's cover it. Let's take care of it, because we don't need to fight those kind of battles.
Right.
You know.
Right. Definitely. All right. So, 30 years in at the San Diego PD, what's life hold for you in the future, say in the next 5 years or so?
Well, I will be here at least 5 years unless something changes. That's my plan, to finish out my career here. I don't know that once I wrap up my career in law enforcement, I don't know what the next step is going to be. I currently teach at the University of San Diego. All right, so I teach classes there. I do enjoy teaching at the collegiate level. I hope to continue to do that as well. who knows? Maybe if there's a position in a small agency in executive leadership, something a lot smaller than a San Diego PD or a major metropolitan department, because, you know, those come with a lot of headaches. You know, over half the police departments in the United States have less than 50 employees. So
right.
Maybe one of those has got my name on it as chief. Who knows?
There you go. I mean, you got some university police departments down there, and yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. What do you teach at USD?
USD has a law enforcement and public safety leadership Masters of Science program. So I've been teaching that for 5 years. There's 5 classes I teach. I teach budget and finance. I teach a community relations, community engagement sort of class, all right, which has been really rewarding and I think you've seen our BPOA social media, all right, our Instagram page, so on and so forth. That's about humanizing, you know, the badge, right? Seeing officers as people, not the uniforms, right? Because they're really people. And trying to teach law enforcement that is helpful to them and not harmful to them has been a challenge, but I've really enjoyed it. Most agencies are developing and they're coming along, and you start to see every police department now has got an Instagram page, and a Facebook page, and, you know, a Twitter page, ways to get out information, the ways to revamp their image, right? Because that's important. People need to see cops as people. Right.
And on that note, I want to see you, you know, we talked about all the pages, you know, develop a TikTok. I want to see you out there, you know, with your moves, doing some of those dances the young officers are doing nowadays.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I like seeing the ones that officers are doing the Dougie. I like seeing that. Right?
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, see, he knows.
So we'll see.
Yeah, you knew that. Yeah, and some of them they doing, you know, parents and kids. So and then there's some officers I see that are out there with kids doing dance moves with them. So
yeah. What's funny is officers. There are a lot of talented people. A lot of these officers are really showing their talent. I worked juvenile for a lot of years, got an opportunity to work with kids, right? There's a lot of officers out there, right, that are doing those same things. So it's good to see. It really does show people that it's not all just about arrests. It's not all about just harassing people and writing tickets, right? Everybody that I know that comes into this job, and it doesn't matter what demographic they come from, they came into it because they wanted to help. They want to help people.
Definitely. There's got to be that healthy balance. We got to be out there in the community to help prevent crimes and work with the community on that. But then when time comes to put in work, we got to be there to put in work, and whatever that is, making arrest. And unfortunately, sometimes that involves uses of force. So you know, we gotta balance both of that.
Yeah, but as long as whatever we do, we remember to treat people with dignity and grace, right? Allow people to have their dignity when they're, you know, I used to arrest people, take them to jail, but hey, it wasn't personal, right? I'm not saying I'm a robot either, but it wasn't personal, bro. This is my job, and you did whatever you did to have to be put in handcuffs and be in the back of the seat. That's on you. That's not on me. I got to hold you accountable. But when I take them to jail, it's dignified. He gets out of the car saying, hey, I appreciate how you treated me, right? Because it really wasn't personal. It's just my job,
right?
You know, and it's a job that we have to protect the community too. And the actions that you were taking were harmful to this community, right? And hey, you go to jail, you do your time. When you come back to the community, when I see you, to be, hey, what's up?
Yep. And we can you know, start over.
Yep, we get to start over.
Yep, we can start over. All right, sir. I appreciate you coming on today. Real good stuff. Why don't you tell the people how we can reach the San Diego BPOA Instagram or whatever else you got on social media.
All right. Well, you can look us up on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. It's at San Diego BPOA on Twitter and on Instagram. And on Facebook, it's just the San Diego Black Police Officers Association. Look us up. Hey, like our content, make a comment, definitely follow us, like and follow us on all 3 platforms. We appreciate it.
All right. And we'll be looking for a TikTok soon from you.
All right. And I'm going to do one. All right. I got to wait to see what our administration thinks of us doing it first.
No doubt. Yeah. I'm with you on that one.
If so, I'll do it on my personal page.
There you go. And then go from there. Yeah. All right. So before I let you go, I got some things I like to do with my guests to light the mood here a little bit, even though we've been pretty light here. I got a lightning round I want to do with you. Well, some quick fire questions and answers. Okay. So let's do this. I call this.
Last night I saw a superhero. He was black. He said, "This is for the street. Black Lightning's back."
So I call this my Black Lightning round. I'm just going to fire some questions at you, and you just fire back some answers. All right. Pretty simple.
Okay. All right.
What restaurant you taking someone from out of town to?
Ruth's Chris.
Ruth's Chris. Okay. Is that one of your favorites?
That's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, I love their steaks. Ooh, good stuff. Would you rather take a traffic collision report in the rain or search the city dump for evidence in the middle of July?
Ooh, traffic collision in the rain. I'm all about it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Which LA team would you rather have back in San Diego? The Chargers or the Clippers?
Ooh, tough call. But the Chargers coming back really would help the city, right? And the city's very angry that they decided to leave. But you don't realize that having an NFL franchise in your team, how it impacts the whole city financially. It gave us something to do on Sundays. But oh well.
Yeah, no doubt. You can have them. Have you ever totaled a police car?
No. Been in police equipment accidents, never totaled one.
All right. Stevie Wonder or Marvin Gaye?
Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye, all right.
Oh, yeah.
You still carry handcuffs?
I do.
All right. How long has it been since you last used them?
Ooh. 4 years or so.
All right, yeah. Because you're a lieutenant, so I had to throw that out.
Yeah.
Favorite TV mom?
Favorite TV mom? Ooh. How about Huxtable mom?
Claire Huxtable?
I forgot Claire Huxtable.
Yes, Cosby Show. All right, that's a good one. San Diego State or UC San Diego?
San Diego State.
San Diego State, okay.
Go Aztecs.
Yeah. If you had to go be a cop in another state, where would you go?
Ooh, I've been looking at places back east in the Midwest, Missouri, Kansas, even Michigan.
Okay, all right. Have you ever skydived before?
No. Why would you want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
Exactly. What about scuba dive? Have you ever scuba dived before?
I've snorkeled. I haven't scuba dived. I want to, though.
Okay, all right. And your last one here, since you said Marvin Gaye, finish this line. Oh, I heard it through the grapevine.
How much longer would you be mine?
There it is. All right. I appreciate that. That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, again, be safe out there in San Diego. I love the city. Hope to get down there real soon once everything starts opening up a little bit more. And, wear your mask, wash your hands, and we'll talk soon.
All right, brother. It's been great. Thank you very much.
You got it, sir.
Be safe up there, too.
We'll do. All right, Square Pegs. That's it for this episode of the Black and Blue Podcast. I want to acknowledge that since this interview was originally recorded, Lieutenant Ben Kelso is now Captain Ben Kelso. So everybody, let's give it up to the captain for that. I really appreciate you for coming on and dropping some knowledge on us. Really, really appreciate it. And if you guys out there appreciate this sort of content that I'm dropping too, make sure you like and subscribe to the Black and Blue Podcast on the YouTube channel or whatever podcast platform you're hearing my sultry voice today. And make sure you check out Black and Blue Live. That's the live version of this show where I bring on panelists and guests and we discuss all sorts of topics. So make sure you check that out. I'm happy to announce that moving forward, my homegirl Lizzie Green, who's been on this show a few times, is going to be taking on co-hosting duties of the Black and Blue Podcast with me. So I'm really excited about that. Be sure to check her out on that. I'll be back next week, though, with another entertaining and interesting episode of the Black and Blue Podcast. But till then, y'all know what to do. Stay black and blue. I'll holler at you. Peace.
This has been a Maitre D Entertainment presentation.